Bro, we're back on a beautiful Friday. And, dude, it's been a nice day. Um, this morning it's so funny. I sent my therapist a voice memo, but she doesn't. Like, I don't have her number. She has pretty strict boundaries about these things. But I sent it to her over email about I don't know, things. But anyways, a couple videos ago I was talking about like side hustles, and it's like, people have all these side hustles with then they rotate to these things, whether it's like e-commerce or clipping or affiliate, all these different types of things. And like people usually stop before like it gets somewhere. Like you just kind of give up before it gets somewhere. Like it doesn't matter. There's not like an easiest side hustle. They all have like their pros and cons, and you kind of just have to like just commit to one for an extended period of time. You'll be all right. Now the thing is that day I was talking about how I saw the guy at Walmart who tried selling me a course. Well, when I got back, I talked to my friend. That night, I talked to my friend from high school, who I know he does options trading, but he just takes home, let's say, like a couple grand a month, so just an extra cash flow, right? He's pretty safe with it. And I was telling him the story, and he's like, "Bro, I've been wanting to learn futures trading for so long." And we were just talking for a while, and he was like, "Yeah," he's like, there is all these other side hustles, but for example, like e-commerce, like you're always trying to find like a new product, or you're trying to create your product to be stable, but there's always advertisements, and there's always like always have to renew things, right? And like you always have to like be up to date on certain things, right? Which is okay, I guess it's true for everything, but like you know the skill set you learn, let's say with drop shipping, is like you know how to find a good product, and you could redo it, but a lot of times you're finding a unicorn product and then having to like try to find the next one, right? But he was like, yeah, he's like with stocks, he's like, yeah, you're not gonna be profitable for like the first like year or whatever, but if you just it's like a skill that after you learn it, you just kind of have it for life. Like the stock market is gonna be the stock market, and yeah, there's gonna be times of extreme volatility, just like there is now. But at the end of the day, like it's a skill that it's like a really good skill to learn, because he's like, this is a skill that you pass down to your children, and like once you have the skill of knowing how to trade, but not in like the day trading kind of like sleazy, I'm gonna sell a course, like, or like where they're only showing their wins. No, like in truth, like really understanding, risk management, psychology, and technical analysis, like all these things. It's like something you could really like treat as a class and study. So he was like, let's just do it. He's like, I've been trying to learn futures, like, but I needed someone to. I knew I wasn't gonna sit. Like he was like, I know I'm not gonna sit there for 6 hours a day and try to learn this. And so he's like, let's do it together. And so he created a Discord, and I was like, but I'm like really fresh at this. Like you've been doing options trading for however many years. Like I am fully new to this, and you need to like, can you just provide me with like the beginner resources so I can catch up to speed with what you're doing? But I was like, let's start, next week, because I've been so busy at work this week and like just doing stuff. And he set up this Discord here where he all these resources, all beginner resources, and then he was like, and then he gave us like a plan of like whatever X amount of month plan, and then he was also like, here's like more like complex resources, like actual textbooks and things like that. And so I was like, holy shit, dude, if I treat this, in the time that I have at work, where like I'm not doing on my downtime at work, or like after work, like if I just like treat this as something to study, and treat it as a class, like in a course, and like I'm treating it like I'm in college again, it's like crazy. So what I did is like, the first video he sent me was like, the first resource that he wanted me to go through was just like a video explaining like 50 plus terms in the trading world, and like what they mean, and whatever it is. And so I started my notebook. I got a notebook this morning, and I spent like a day like going through this video and taking notes. And so essentially my notebook now has a glossary. Like I finished the glossary. It took a while. And so I'm hyped. So then tonight we're meeting from 7 to 9 to do our first like actual like seeing like what how we're gonna go about this. And then just like if we meet like 6 hours a week, 6 to 8 hours a week, it's like that's like we're gonna learn quickly. And the thing about learning nowadays, it's a lot easier, because whenever you have like really complicated questions that like you don't want to like search through Google to like find the resource to find the thing, now you can just ask GPT, and obviously you need to not back test it, but like cross reference and see if it's actually telling the truth. But if I clip, like if we're back testing from the day before to see like how, learning from the day before to the trade before, like doing paper trading or whatever it is, I can literally snippet it and ask GPT like, hey, where did I go wrong here? What was the issue? Like, and tell, technically, like, and so something that would initially take a year to learn, because the guy at Walmart said it took him a year to learn futures trading before he was like extremely profitable. And so something that could take a year, with knowing how to prompt and knowing how to use AI correctly, and like it could take you could half that, or 3/4 that, so it might take 6 to 8 months instead, or 6 to 9 months rather than a full year. And so I'm like hyped, because I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I have someone that now is like, we're gonna keep each other in check, and like we can just sit here and like learn this skill, because there's not much else like I have to do, right? I gotta go to work, make these videos, and learn this trading shit, and hang out with my fiance, right? That's it. Hang out with Julianne. So I'm pretty hyped. So our first study session's tonight, and the thing is, he's knowledgeable. So here, like, it's not like we're two noobs. Like, this guy, he's knowledgeable, not in the sense of future trading, but in the sense of the other trading. Who texted me? Oh, never mind. My uncle said, though I'm not working anymore, thank God it's Friday. Anyways, so yeah, it's a pretty simple Friday. We might go out later tonight. Her roommate's flying back right now from, he was in Malaysia for a couple weeks. And yeah, bro, we're chilling. I want to get this draw with me recorded this weekend, but it might be hard because her roommate's coming back and they're probably going to spend some time with each other, like, we'll see. We'll see. It's fun. What's hilarious about work too is like, dude, I just got gifted. Like, my coworker was like, I need you to do this project for me, and I was like, well, when's the due date? And she said, well, I'm going on a cruise on the 13th through the 20th. So she said, when are you going on vacation? I was like, the 13th, and she was like, well, let's see how much you can get done by then. I then like open up this project, and I realized that this will literally take. I'm gonna be finished in like a day or two. Like, I'm literally just gonna crank it out next week and be done like so quickly. It's gonna be ridiculous. Which is hilarious to me, right? It's like you get these projects and they're like, it's gonna take so long. But I'm not gonna say that. I mean, yeah, I am gonna say I finished fast because I want to look good. What's interesting too? Remember that the position that I was offered that I didn't end up taking because the pay that I was told and the pay that they wanted to give me, that the recruitment officer actually wanted to give me, was like really a huge difference. And so I heard they were going through the applicants today. But that wasn't me. They were going through the applicants to fill this position. And I finally realized why it's so hard for people that have higher education, like their masters and their bachelors and double masters, to actually find a job. Because I was listening to them talk, and it was like, like, no one's gonna take this job with a master's. Like, it pays too little for a master's, but they want a skilled worker. But the thing is the person that's like actually a fine fit for it doesn't have the degree. But the only person that would be willing to take that pay is the person without the degree. But they don't want to hire the person without the degree because they don't have a degree. So you're like in this catch-22 where it's like, well, nobody that has a degree in their right mind would take, especially their masters, would take a job for this little pay, right? But clearly people apply to it. But it's like, yeah, dude, it's an overqualification is a huge deal right now in the marketplace. Like, obviously people can find jobs like essential worker jobs and jobs like that you don't really need to have a degree for, but specialized jobs that you need your master's for, and like no one's hiring. Like, so now you just have this like no one's hiring anymore. There's been huge layoffs, and so now you just have this large population of really educated workers and people that really specialized workers that can't find work, who are applying to jobs that don't need specializations and getting denied by those jobs because they're like, oh, well, this person's going to come in and ask for a lot of money, or this person's going to expect like, career mobilization and expect raises and expect like steady and fast progression, and so they're not going to hire you, like, right? It's like this weird, but then they're not really going to, it's going to be because they're not really going to hire the person, like, I'm saying people that can't get hired to like, barista jobs. They can't get hired to do, retailing, or any of these jobs because they're like overqualified. It's just like a weird thing that's happening right now. Hopefully the market fixes itself. I learned what a short was today. That's kind of the craziest thing ever, but it's like, you ask a lender like, yo, can I borrow this stock from you? Because you expect the stock price to go down by a lot, and so you buy the stock. You borrow the stock, you sell it instantly, and then whenever the lender asks you for the stock back, you rebuy the stock at whatever price it's at, hoping that it's gonna be less. And then you take away whatever the difference is, whatever you initially sold it at versus like minus whatever you bought it at. And because there's this movie called The Big Short that I want to watch with Steve Carell. I really want to watch it. It's about the housing bubble and the housing crisis. Because really, with the housing crisis, it's just actually I'm not gonna talk about it because I don't know too much about it, and I think that's pretty honest about myself. But I think we're kind of in a housing bubble right now where like normal homes that like 10 years ago would be worth 250,000, 300,000 are now evaluated at like over $500,000. It's like, and my parents live in like a suburbia, right? And people bought the houses built the houses when it was being, when it's still being built. They built the house for like $500,000 and they sold it for $1,000,000. It's like, dude, this 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house that's like 2,000 square feet, 2,500 square feet with only like 5 feet of space in between the next house. That was built extremely fast because like I don't know if you guys know, like things are being built so fast. They don't, like the materials are bad, the inspections are going bad. There's like it's just lazy. It's like you're going for quantity building, and because of that, there's always issues with the house. Like a hurricane came like last year or like maybe 2 years ago, and like my parents' house was leaking from the roof. But the house we had before was when I was like from my childhood. They had for 20 years. That was built in 1999, and we went through so many hurricanes and never had a leak. And that's just kind of what people are like. That it's just like I don't know. Like you need to be having more supply of housing so that the housing price goes down. But at the same time, housing prices are just extremely inflated right now. So it's just kind of a tough thing. I imagine that a lot of people, if this housing bubble pops, people will be very upside down on their house. Like they'll have bought it for 500,000 and gotten a 30-year loan at 8% interest, and then they're gonna have to sell it. When they sell it, it'll be like 300,000. So they'll like lose 200, whatever. Obviously that's in a loan, and they didn't pay cash for it. But you know what I'm saying. Anyways, yeah, I'm just kind of yapping. But I'm gonna have a beautiful night. I'm gonna take a shower. My training session is 7 to 9, so I'll be there. And yeah, I love you guys. Have a beautiful Friday night, and I'll catch you guys on a Saturday. And we're about to be in April already, bro. It's crazy. Bro. Anyone that's watching this still, go look at Tampa Bay Airport. Said they were closing down. It was like this big petty thing. And in truth, I think the person just made an April Fool's post, and they accidentally sent it now instead of on April Fool's. Yeah, their marketing team's gonna be, their social media managing team's gonna be fired for that. Anyways.